What's good? I'm Nomad the Native, and you are tuned into the Snippet, a comfortable spot where we let the art spark the conversation. I link with artists, and we take a deep dive into the emotions and context that drive our creativity. So, join us as we connect, collaborate, and converse here on the Snippet. This is the Snippet, baby. I'm Nomad the Native, and this is my man's. Introduce yourself.
I go by Black, aka MoneyfourDrugs. How y'all feeling today, man?
Hey, I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
Thanks for popping up
You
on
already
me,
know, fam.
my boy. So before we get into anything,
Yeah,
the show's called The Snippet, and you got me a snippet, right?
for sure.
So
for
I'm gonna
sure.
play the snippet.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's see, turn this volume up.
Card name desire, what means the world to you? Is it money, is it power from a bird's eye view? I saw the rivers and the towers where the rich folks stay, and where they slinging all that powder. We united, they divide us. Street card named desire, hustle hard till we expire. Dodge the haters and the sirens, another way to get about it. Without facing time, I doubt it. My homie said the same and parked the range as he explained that the joy requires pain. I rolled a split and sparked my flame. Pray the Lord don't call my name. Young boys in city courts who won't see the Hall of Fame. And the ball come with a chain. And the lawyer fees can cost you dreams. Of course it seems glamorous, it's hazardous. What you became enamored with became the catalyst. You spent the bread on both sides of the sandwich, kid, and so it seems. Everyone meeting about your lettuce and cheese. And heaven never seems so far away. Bow your head, you ought to pray is what your granny would say. So
All right. So like, what made you pick that song? Like, why that snippet? Why that section of that song?
I think like that just encompasses like the story of my the story of my artistry. All together. It's like the lyrics, like what means the world to you? Is it money? Is it power? From a bird's eye view, saw the rivers and the towers. Like it was like at a time in my life where like I got into like some I got into some trouble, and I dipped out the country for like a little bit, and it was like a real self-reflective moment in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like I was in like the plane, and I was like, when I was leaving, you know what I'm saying, I was seeing like everything. I was seeing like the city, and this was like back in like 2015. Like though that was like a part of a verse that I wrote, and it just ended up sounding good on the hook when I found that beat later on.
So you had a literal bird's eye view.
Yeah, and it was just like I was seeing like the hood, and I was seeing like the White House, and I was seeing the burbs, and I was seeing, and it was just like just questioning life at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like what means the world to you as you're looking at the world itself from a bird's eye view. So it's like, it's sometimes you gotta really, sometimes you do stuff years in advance, and then it don't make sense to you
Until later.
You know what I'm saying?
So you write from a place of like trying to like process where you're at or what you're going through? Is that like a regular thing for you?
Sometimes it could be from different angles. Like it could also be like you writing for what you want to see in like the future too. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like sometimes you got to be careful with that, because sometimes the stuff you write actually
comes to fruition.
It comes to fruition.
It's scary.
It's scary.
Like,
shit.
they talk about the power of the tongue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's scary.
Life
It's
and death
scary.
in the power of the tongue, dog.
Yeah,
Has it happened to you like lately? Are you like more mindful of it as you've gotten older?
for sure. Like I'll be writing a verse, and I'm like, you know what? I ain't even going. And then as I get older too, just you learn to be more intentional with everything that you're doing. Like that's living, writing music, business ventures, friendships, relationships, different things. As you get older, you just learn to be more intentional. So it's like, what's the intention behind what I'm writing? You know what I'm saying? Like, who am I trying to connect with? Who am I trying to build that bridge with? You know what I'm saying? And like, what am I trying to show myself? What am I trying to learn from myself? You know what I'm saying? So it requires a lot of intention.
How do you feel like you've gotten more intentional with your music career over time?
I would say just being completely honest, like my about everything, think like honesty is like the great equalizer. You know what I'm saying? Like my OG Dosega he was telling me, back in the day, he was like, you write very well, You know what I'm saying? But he was like, you need to be more like say what you want to say. Like you're trying to say a lot of things and not give too much detail, or like not really give people like an inside view. But that's the only way people are gonna really learn to connect with you. You know what I'm saying? So
There's something that I'm still working through is like saying what I'm saying and like not being afraid of being vulnerable or transparent enough for those things to be, for like parts of my life and parts of my thought process to really be known.
yeah,
So it's like I could tell you enough to be like you get the
yeah.
idea,
But it's
or I could tell you everything, and you know what I mean. We go from there.
yeah. It's
So
kind of like you gotta give them everything, but you gotta give it to them in like doses. Can't be afraid to be vulnerable. You know, as an artist, I think being a man first is like we taught not to be vulnerable, but it's like if you got a medium like your artistry, you know, that can be your bridge to vulnerability. You know what I'm saying? Without you just being vulnerable and making yourself susceptible to certain things. You're like, yeah, I'm being vulnerable, but it's in the form of like a song. It's in the form of like a skit. It's in the form of whatever creative outlet.
all right, so like on some chicken and the egg type shit.
Yeah.
On some chicken and the egg type shit. What do you think came first, the vulnerability into the artistry, or did the artistry beget vulnerability for you? As much as I try to be like, oh yeah, I'm vulnerable and that's what makes my art good, I think that I'll experience shit just like how you said you experience the experiences like turn into something for you.
Yeah.
I'll experience things and then I found that I sometimes don't allow myself to be vulnerable about a thing until I've started to like turn it into art or transmute it through the art.
Yeah.
And
I think
like
the key word that you used was process. Like you got to process whatever it is that you're going through. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a situation is a thing, and then bit by bit you break it down and you process it. So it's like, in what manner do you process it? And for you, that outlet is being creative. For some folks, is taking a walk. For some folks, is playing a sport. For some folks, is just venting to somebody. But for guys like us, so it's going to be the creative route.
Question: how does an artist figure out how to empower his vulnerability without the constant judgment? Am I being weak? Am I being soft?
I feel like you can't give a fuck about that. Because artistry is subjective. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a painting. It's like you go to a gallery, you look at a painting, you gonna feel something different. You gonna feel something different. You gonna feel something different. You know what I'm saying? And it might not even be what the artist intended for us to feel, but that's what art is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you being vulnerable. It's like it to me. It makes me respect the artist more. You know what I'm saying? When I see that, and for other people, they may respect it, they may not respect it, but I feel like the artist, that is just somebody trying to control like an outcome of something. And in life, you got to release the outcome of things. You just got to be what it's going to be.
facts,
You know what I'm saying?
facts.
Do you think you are speaking your life through your music? Or are you trying to project the life that you would like in your music?
I think it's the first one. I think I'm speaking my life through my music. Like, for me personally, I've been through like a lot of situations that like just made me had to write. You know what I'm saying? Like, just brought that out of me because it was like things were so real at the time. It's like, yo, the only way I know I can get this out in a healthy manner without crashing out is put it in a song, put it in a rhyme. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, that's real.
you know what I'm saying? Like, and as you know,
Ooh.
and I know like for different cats, it's like when you read back on your rhymes and when you rhyming it back to yourself, it's like self actualization. Like, oh shit, this is actually how like I feel about this shit. Like this is how like I really feel about it. It's like really my like viewpoint on this. This is really how this made me feel. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like therapeutic in like a way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
For me,
Yeah.
I feel that though. Like sometimes to touch on your question, I think that sometimes it's because even you said it a little bit. There's an aspirational nature to writing. Like this is where I want my life to go.
Yeah.
But even that comes from where you're at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
even my aspirations come from where I'm standing because my viewpoint of the future is informed by by my past. It's informed by where I'm by my present, and yeah,
That was a good question.
That was a good
That was a good ass question, bro. Yeah.
How many hats do you feel like you gotta wear as money for drugs in order to get shit done?
I feel like you gotta wear every hat. And it's almost like, and I would say it's in the artist's best interest to do it, right? Because it's like, if you are an artist and you putting your music out there, like, it's almost like running like a company. Like they always say, like a CEO should know every part of his company. He should know from what his job is down to what the janitor's job is. You know what I'm saying? Because then can't nobody run game on you on how to run your company. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you are an artist,
Preach.
learn a little bit about shooting videos, learn a little bit about marketing, learn a little bit about promo, learn a little bit about streaming. That way, when you put in that effort into your art, the universe is going to work with you, right? So as it's working with you, it's going to bring people in to help you out with those roles. And then can't nobody really run game on you because you know what angle this is supposed to be shot at. You know what definition this needs to be filmed at. You know how you want your music to sound because you don't mix your own records 1,000.
You have valid
Yeah,
input.
you got valid input. You know
So
what
like,
I'm saying?
even if it's temporary, you got to put on every
Every
single
hat, yeah.
Or at least it's in your best interest
Is it? Yeah.
to put on it, to put on every hat. I've definitely learned some at least basic terminology about stuff when it comes to mixing, or being able to at least come up with mood boards and vision, like cohesively put together a vision and a treatment for something, so that I can present it to a specialist and let them do the execution. But like, I know
Exactly.
I can always have something to refer them back to. Like, are we
Exactly.
doing this? Are we making sure to do that? Are we? So
It gives you a point of reference.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to be left out of your own conversation. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you want to know something at least.
that's a bar.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't want to be left out of your own conversation.
You don't. Like, because if you're doing your art, the conversation going to be about you. And sometimes people just going, like, it's going to be like due process with like people. Like if bruh right here, bruh do like the filming and all that, right? So it's like, if he doing it, he's gonna do it to what he know and his expertise and his level of experience. But he's doing it for you. Like, the conversation is about the artist. So not to say like he can't do his thing, but it'll be in your best interest to be like, hey, what you think about this? You know what I'm saying? And you can add something to that conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey man, I respect it. I feel like, because I know you.
Yeah.
You know, you're my man.
Yeah.
I know you wear a whole lot of hats.
Yeah.
And like, you developed your brand outside of just being a musician. You're a businessman, and we do business together
All the time.
So like, I respect that, and I'm right there with you, and I'm hoping that other people, you know what I mean, feel encouraged.
Bro.
Like, dog, put on the hats, put on the hats, and be vulnerable in them jumps.
Yeah.
Hey,
your vulnerability hat, man.
where your vulnerability at?
I got one more question.
Oh, all right.
What do you call yourself again?
Money for drugs.
If I was a person, a child, I don't know who your target audience is,
Yeah.
and I had an opportunity to read that, what am I supposed to take from your name of your artistry? Because a parent can filtrate it from a standpoint that, oh, he's automatically, because these words basically present some way that he's not the person to listen to.
For sure. And I completely understand.
And does the music represent the name, or does the name represent the music?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think the name represents the music represents the name. Money for drugs, the drugs part of it is actually for defining reality under God's sky. You know what I'm saying? And we all make money to kind of define our own reality, right? Like, you could have an idea of wanting to build something, but it takes bread to do it. And through spending that money, you're going to be able to build the reality that you want and show people and convey to them exactly what you're trying to do out here. You know what I'm saying? For me, the name is like self-explanatory. Like, I was in the streets, I did what I did, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not one of those cats that take pride in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, my music is real self-reflective. I try to give people both sides of the coin. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's cool, but this is the consequences of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, and yeah, you're going to make some money, but then this is the B side of it too. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just like a constant, just like, because I feel like that's a disservice. I feel like that the street element does exist to things, you know what I'm saying? But it's your responsibility. Like I said, as you get older, you become more intentional. So like, it's your duty to kind of like let these younger cats know, like, yo, it's another side to the game, and it's not that sweet. You know what I'm saying? So through my music, through life experiences, losing friends to jail, losing friends to death, different things like that, it's like my music is real reflective in that. You know, and I think it's like, I'm not judging nobody, but I think it's irresponsible to like tell niggas like, yo, you could hustle and do this like 100 miles an hour and nothing's gonna happen. Like, nah, shit.
There are consequences
There's
for your behavior.
consequences for your actions, my boy. You know what I'm saying? So like, be mindful with everything that you do. You know.
Hey man, I actually didn't know that was what your name meant.
Yeah.
Another good question.
Yeah, my man got him, bro. Young Larry
boy.
King over there.
All right, so let's call it Money for Drugs.
Yeah.
Nomad the Native. This is the snippet.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Hey yo, hey son, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if so, then comment, like, subscribe, follow, disagree, whatever. I mean, this is a show by the artist for the artist. So, if you want to be featured, just hit us. There ain't nothing but an email or a DM away. Until next time, peace.